Really good day. Very physical day, great throwback day as I call it. A lot of fundamentals, a lot of toughness drills, a lot of effort. Like the effort, love the competition back and forth. Both sides, offense win, defense win, defense win, offense win. But just the competition level, the way they practice the tempo. And guys, with other side ones, it wasn't just because the other side blew an assignment. It's kind of by making a play, doing things. I like the practice we have. We got to get better at some things, but fundamentally, I liked how we practiced. I liked the toughness and the effort. I really did. Good, a great attitude on the field today. Questions?
Earlier you were saying these practices kind of remind you of spring with teaching concepts. How different is it than spring knowing that guys know things? It's just a matter of fine-tuning at this point.
Well, it's not. We go back to base fundamentals. I mean, still knowing it inside and out. Spring, you still should know it. Most of them still should know it. But it's just really fine-tuning your details and your fundamentals and reminding yourself to be tough and how to play that way.
In terms of game preparation, don't start that until you get to the plan?
No. We'll start here, but we'll have the last 5 here that way. But we'll get these first 3 or 4. How we feel fundamental. We either go 3 real hard ones like this or 4, and then we're good in the game preparation, which will be hard too. But at least it'll be 5 here probably, and 4 really tough individual days.
So with the extended time, do you just break it down on a further level? How do you do that?
Oh yeah, whole part. I mean, you're all the way down to half line drills, individual one-on-one drills, half line stuff. I mean, just really making sure they understand the concepts and the fundamental things of what they're doing. I mean, it goes back to the basics, as broke down as you can get it.
Are those the type of things that can sometimes maybe slip a little bit in the grind of the
No,
season?
no doubt they do. And that's why we always do good on good every Tuesday and Wednesday. We always go ones-on-ones all the time because you got to get yourself against good people. But it's hard to always find, because you're game playing so much, although just drill work, and that's what we get back to.
For you guys as a coach, you set the extra 15 practices to get extra evaluation. I guess how important is
No,
that?
it's back to getting better. We're just trying to get better. I mean, see who can get better and try to be just like you would in spring practice.
Jimbo, how's Roderick doing with his knee?
Good. He's back practicing full speed. He's doing great. Great to have him back.
When you were saying earlier today about how there are guys that, now they got rest, they just look different. Who are some of those guys that jumped out
All
at
of
you?
them. I mean, they do. I mean, people don't realize how beat up we were at the end of the season. There was 10, 12, 14 guys maybe practicing 1 to 2 days a week is all they were practicing. I mean, we had tons of guys who were banged and bruised. It is really good to see them out here just flying around. It feels good.
Since you've been here, you never seem to have any problems with guys getting ready and getting excited for the bowl game. Is it so?
Yeah, because it's a reward, and you always want to go out. It finishes off a season. You got everything we start, we finish. We want to finish with a great emphasis, and that's part of the bowl game. That's what that is. That's a finish. It's a finish and a start to the next season, and we try to emphasize that and show them how important it is, and they've done a great job of that.
Trey Marshall play anything?
No. I wish he would, but he's not quite ready.
Have you coached a team ever that didn't make a bowl game?
No. Oh well, 1 year at Cincinnati. I'll let right after that. 1 year at Cincinnati.
I guess I would have asked, can you tell a difference? Do you think you can tell a difference going into a next season, the team that's had those 15 practices and the team that hasn't?
I do, especially young guys. If they handle it the right way, I really do. I mean, it's an extra spring, and because when you think about it, it's only 2 months after that, you're right back in the spring ball. So I mean, you could springboard this right into what you're doing. It makes a difference. It does.
Obviously, you guys are playing some other good offensive teams, but how will this show just how you guys stack up against a great offense going against these teams?
Well, I mean, anytime you do it, and they bring a lot of different things to the table. I mean, and they're diverse in their own way. And we haven't. I mean, I've studied them a lot. I'm not just studied them inside and out yet because we're working on this stuff. But they'll bring a lot of different things to the table with the spread game and the running game, and not only the quarterback but the back and everything else. The throwing game.
I'm not sure what Tom was able to do at Ohio State.
I didn't study Ohio State. I have no idea. I'm sure it's guy's philosophies and what he's doing is going to be very similar. But he probably tweaked it and turned it to his personnel. But I'm sure the basis and foundation of it is going to be very similar, I would imagine.
Jimbo, there was a lot of rumors or speculation about Charles Kelly looking around or other jobs inquiring about him. He was out, last year rooting for you guys. I mean, what does that say about his commitment to being here?
Well, he wants to be here. He likes the program we have. He likes the staff we have. We want him here. And Charles is a tremendous coach and he's a better person.
And again, I mean, just this is the time of year where everybody's inquiring about.
Oh, exactly right. I mean, it's that time of year. Y'all get all your social media stuff. You can tweet and turn and tweet and whatever the heck y'all do with that stuff. Instagram, ain't that pretty good? Y'all do that stuff too. Huh? But it's just, I mean, it's the nature because especially you have, as much turnover this year in college football as you've had in a long time. So people looking for assistants and jobs. That's part of this business. That's part of the ups and downs.
As a coach, how do you handle that? You have a successful program. People are going to inquire. So how do you kind of handle talking to assistants?
Well, you talk to them about situations. They got to make their own mind up. You give them your opinion, and you try to I always say make decisions not based on tomorrow, even 2 years down the road. You make them on 5 and 10 years down the road, where you want to be and how they can get you there. I think that's the ones that last and make it in this business. That's the way they decide. But other things happen, and at the end of the day, it goes back to them.
You went through a huge turnover after 12, right? And was it this time of year? Thinking back to that, from this time, was it tough for guys? I mean,
Oh, it's extremely tough. Oh, extremely. Who's recruiting? A lot of guys getting on the road. Who's going to take those guys over? Convincing recruits it's still going to be a good deal. You know, we lost 6 guys that year, and all those players had 11 guys drafted. Remember, we had 11 guys drafted and 6 coaches. And we were fortunate we won the national championship next year. So that shows you. I mean, anything can happen.
Staying along those lines, when you kind of look at some of the money some of these assistants are being thrown.
Oh,
I mean, how much of it is a competition game, and is it one of those things where you guys have to kind of sit down and maybe play with numbers, figure it out, or is
you do? I mean, it is an arms race now, and the people in the networks and the conferences and everybody's money. It is, you know, that's what moves. Nothing's about money, but everything's about money. But again, some people don't base all their decisions on money, but a lot of people do, and it's great to have that there for resources, for staffs, for facilities. I mean, it is an arms race, and it is important to be able to do those things. It's the way this world is working right now. It's the way college football is.
We always talk about Nick Saban's coaching trees. Is that something you ever think about, like your own, you know, all the assistants under you? And
I worry about the trees in my yard, make sure they're trimmed. And that falls on the house. Trim yourself.
I know. Jimbo, a little disappointed where Dalvin finished on.
I'm not disappointed. I know. I mean, I think Dalvin's as good as anybody out there. But at the same time, I think those guys were outstanding too. I mean, you know, when you say you're disappointed, the guy should be in the Heisman, or he should win the Heisman, but you're saying, well, that guy shouldn't. Well, that's not true. Those guys are all great players. I just think there was an abundance of them, and I think he's as good as anybody out there. I'm glad he's on my team. I wouldn't. Not that I don't know those guys, but I take him as well as anybody in the country. But that's just, you know, they're good players. He's a good player. That's just the way it worked out.
He is getting recognized as another first-team All-American team today. There's a bunch of teams.
Is that right? That's great. I mean, he's made a few so far. Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, he deserves it. And he's just as well deserving as they are. You know what I'm saying? That's sometimes it's. I mean, you sit there and pick between them all. It's tough.
They're all coming back, except for Henry.
Yeah, you're right.
Do you think you should have gotten invited at least, or do you think the Heisman?
Well, I don't know. But I think I don't get into that invite. I think it goes by how the vote is, and probably how close all that is. I think how they, if they're distributed more evenly through 5 people or 4 people or 3 people, he obviously wasn't. So, I mean, like I said, I think he's as good as those guys. I think those guys are great too.
Can you tell that the potential for 50 wins really means something to the senior class?
I do. I mean, once they realize what they could achieve and what they are, and you know, you just have standards and goals out there that you got to go after, and it's going to be a tough one. This team is a heck of a team, but I think it does mean something to them, especially their legacy and what they left.
Since we're on talking in a couple of weeks, were you happy LSU did the dunk face and kept less?
That's not my business. That's up to them.
One more.
I mean, I don't comment on jobs.
Jimbo, Lamarcus Brutus, hand, wrist.
Yeah, his hand. He broke it in the last game, but he's fine. We're just keeping him in the blue for a couple of days. He already operated. He had a minor surgery, had it fixed, and he's good.
Just need to run down some of the guys that are not here. Mario Pender, Derek Mitchell.
They're hurt. Mitchell had surgery on his back, and Pender's still out for the year with what he had.
Ryan Izzo was another one.
Izzo had a family emergency. He will be back in the next day or two. He had something happen in his family. He'll be back. He had to go home, unfortunately.
Mitchell had surgery.
Yeah, on his back. Yeah, yeah. I mean, for this year. I mean,
For this
whether in the
game.
future, yeah. He had back surgery.
Daddy.
Sick.